So it was released basically in August 2018, and it got updated in March 2019. So how this JAMOVi works? So basically, we have got two extremes of data analysis. On one hand, we have got something like R. You all know about R, and it's a command based software. So you need to write commands to get the result. Whereas on the other hand, you have got SPSS and Stata, which is a sorry, the first one is the language based. Yes, you have to write the command, where the second is the menu driven. There are written menus and there are drop down menus, and you only click those menu and you get the result. And this JAMOVi is in between these two. It is a menu driven, but if you wish, you can write and you can see the commands also. That option is there in the SPSS also, which we have were used very less. But again, in this JAMOVi, this is made by the using the R interface. So what we can do with this JAMOVi, we can do the basic data analysis, and then there are modules for this. There are various modules, and since R is an open source, so it has got a lot of modules. People are constantly improving on it, and there are a lot of modules, and depending on your need, you can do the module installation for the advanced data analysis. And recently they have added this meta-analysis also. This module has also been installed, so you can do meta-analysis also in the this JAMOVi. So we are planning for one workshop maybe after a month or two on this meta-analysis also, that too on JAMOVi. And then when you run an analysis, you update the result. In this case, we will see the interface. It is very dynamic in nature, and in this case, if you save that, you don't need to rerun the whole analysis. It saves time in the table formatting, because most of the time it is the APA style table, that is the American Psychological Association table, which is required in the manuscript. And this JAMOVi gives the output in the same format. The diagrams like bar, plot, scatter, maybe survival, logistic, the regression line, everything, whatever the diagram, if you box plot, so everything is drawn very beautifully. So there is no need to edit those diagrams. You can directly copy paste these diagrams in your manuscript and report it. And all the analysis, like we have discussed, it is written using the language of R. And also we can put this JAMOVi in the syntax mode, where the R code, the written R code, it will appear, although we will seldom use that, but still that option is there. And this is again a point and click interface of R. So those of you who have worked anytime in R, you will realize, and you have got a lot of options, because in traditional software that purchased, most of it is a purchased one. You need to pay to use that software. If you use the pirated one, all the options are not there. If you buy a student copy, also it has got a limited version. All the options will not be there. And then later on, maybe when you want to perform some advanced data analysis, then you are bound to purchase a full version of that software, which is not very very much affordable for everyone. Maybe at institutional level we can purchase it, but for an individual level it is not possible to purchase it. So this JAMOVi is a breakthrough in the sense that it is free of cost. It is very anyone can use it. And there are, if you see the citations since 2018, many people have started using this JAMOVi. So this JAMOVi is recommended for all those researchers who wants to do the data analysis with a less of effort and with a good output. And this is the Google, if you see the Google Scholar, this was the 7,710 articles using JAMOVi. And this was like, we did this, I think, a month before. So right now the number must have increased. So in the instructions which you have received over mail and in the WhatsApp group also, I hope all of you have installed this JAMOVi. Those of you who could not install, because I was going through the chats and I could see that there were few people, because of that bits limitation, 32 bits versus 64 bits, you could not install it, but it will not get installed on 32 bits. And the recommended version for all of us is it's 2.2.5 solid version. That current version is also there, that is there with the latest feature, but after few months, all these latest feature, this gets incorporated into the solid version also. So no need that some version is not coming or some options is not there. It will be updated because they do the pilot testing of all those, because I said that they are constantly updating this JAMOVi software, maybe based on the response of the reader, response of the researcher. So it's getting constantly updated, and that updation, it is first done in the current version, and then after a month or so, it gets incorporated into the solid version. So that's why we recommend this solid version for most of the user, and it runs as an administrator. So I have taken the session on this variables. So now let's see the interface of JAMOVi. So if you have installed JAMOVi, you can press this window tab, and then you can press this JAMOVi. So this, since this runs as an administrator, this will open. This takes some time to open. So this is the interface of the JAMOVi. So I'll take few minutes to explain this interface. So you can see here that there in the single window, you can see there are two views. What we used to see in the SPSS, there was a data view and there was a variable view, and the output view was coming as a separate sheet. In this case, this towards the left side, the options which you can see, this is the data set or the data view, and this option towards the right side, this is the output view. So the commands which you perform, so all these commands which you can see here, that appears, the result appears in this window. In this case, you can see that there are various options, like you can see there is an option of variable. If you click this data, it will be the data set, and there are options of like paste, cut, there is a setup, compute, transform. We learn all these options. There is an option of add and delete variable, then there is an option of filter, and then again add rows. You can see this green line in the row form, it is like adding a row, and this is like adding a column. So column is for variable. What I said, if you are taking one column, it is for one variable, and one row is for the one patient. And then you can see this analysis. So there are options like exploration. If you click on this exploration, there is an option of descriptive, which we will learn. And then there's a scatter plot. If you see this t-test, there are various options like comparison of mean, independent sample, paired sample, and one sample. If you click on this ANOVA, you have got option of like one-way repeated measure and other options. It's non-parametric counterpart. And then if you click on regression, you have got correlation, partial correlation, logistic and linear regression. And in frequency, you can see there are various types of chi-square, which we will learn tomorrow, that McNemar and chi-square test of association, homogeneity and goodness of fit. And this is regarding the factor, which we are not going to learn, that the principal component analysis, reliability, exploratory factor, and the confirmatory factor analysis. And this is again, we have added this module on survival. Now you can see there is an icon here. First, we will see that there is this icon. So this icon is basically for enlarging the view. So if I click this variable view will be enlarged. This output view, if I again click this will be shortened. You can see there is a plus sign here, which is rewriting module. So if you click this, then it will lead to a JAMOVi library. So you can see, click on this JAMOVi library, and you can install the package which you think which is needed for you. So you can see this scatter is there, JPower, RJ. There are various things which, power analysis in the footnote, they are writing the description, like general analysis for linear model. This is the structural evaluation module. So there are various things. There are n number of options which you can see here. This walrus, this is again new thing which is needed. But for basic analysis, because this workshop we have covered the basic analysis. So for that, there is no need to install any module. But those of you who want to practice maybe later on, or who want to experiment, you can install or you can download these modules and you can run these modules. So this is one option of this plus. Now you can see there are three icons here. So if you click on these three icons, you can see here there are various options like number format. You can change this p-value format, this like decimal point if you want to decrease it. References, it is hidden now. If you want to put this references, like if I make it visible, you can see that in the last, whenever you do the result section, that reference of JAMOVi will appear. Plots also, there are plot theme. So you can see here there are various type of plot which we will see when we will draw the plot. And then there are color combinations also which you can see. So these are some of the options, and that you can get by clicking these three dots. So this is the basic interface of the JAMOVi. Now I will first import the data. So this data import is, if you can see, there are three lines here, the vertical, this horizontal lines. If you click on this, you can see there is option of new, open, import, save as and export. So we use the option of open to open a data set. So once you click this open, you can see it leads to a path. You can click on this browse. If you click on this browse, it will lead to a where you have saved the file. So there are various files here. So maybe I will first this import this. This is the Excel sheet where I have to show the demo, import levels and compute this. This is a sheet which is there in my this folder. This is the first day folder. So I will import this sheet, and the data files, you can see if you click this, there are various type of data files, like it can import JAMOVi, CSV, open document, Excel, XLS, SPSS, RData, Stata, SAS, all these data files. So it can import any of these data file. Remember, in Excel, we need to say that, it was an Excel file, we need to specify it. But here you don't need to specify. You just click on, select this format, this data set, and click on this open. And once you click on this open, you will see that the data, it gets populated here in this column, in this view. You can see serial number, name, gender, age, maybe the socioeconomic status. So it is all number. You can see here, but because in Excel it was number. But I need to put the coding here also. So how do I do that? So in that case, if you double click, so I double click this gender. So then this data variable will enter. Either you can go like this, or you can go into this data and you can click on this setup. So by these two options, this window will appear. So this is the description of this variable. In this case, you can see here, this is a gender. So you can write here description like the label which we use in case of SPSS. You can write here, but again, gender is an explanatory. And in this case, you can keep a variable name with a space in between also, because remember in SPSS, if you give a space in between the variable, it will not take it. But in JAMOVi, you can give the exact variable which you want to have in the table. That's how the look of the table will be changed, and you can directly save that table as an output. In the type of the data, it is very important for you to understand this. So you need to mention the type of the measurement here. So gender is a nominal, so it is here. The data type is again integer, because nominal is always integer. But in case of, if it is a continuous data like BMI, if you are calculating it, you need to make it as a decimal. This 1 and 2. So I don't know what is this 1 and what is this 2. So maybe I may write this one. 1 is maybe for male. So I will write here male. This you need to do it in the JAMOVi. Because in the Excel, you have entered the number. And in JAMOVi, you need to give a name to that so that the output comes like that. Because you want the output to be a format so that you can use exactly that table. And here you can write the female. Similarly, this arrow is for moving across in the column section. So this, if I press this again, after this gender, this age comes. So this age is okay because this is in continuous, it is an integer, and I have taken age as a as a decimal. Then again, I will go ahead. This socioeconomic status. So this is again, this 123 is the code which is given to it. You can write the description of the full description of this variable. So you can write socio-economic status. So you are giving full name of this variable. Again, this is a type of, you can write it as the ordinal, and you can write 1 as maybe lower, 2 as middle, depending on the code which you have kept, and 3 as a higher. That you can do. Similarly, this diabetes 01. So this 0 is like no diabetes. So you can write no diabetes or absence of diabetes. And this you can write like diabetic. Similarly, you can move ahead and you can write like hypertension, no hypertension, and presence of hypertension, absence of hypertension. Similarly, this CVD, you can write the levels like no CVD and there is a history of CVD. Similarly, stroke. So you can enter this. And then COPD, CKD, all are like present and absent. So this way you can change, you can add the values label to those categories which you have formed in your Excel sheet. So how do we do that? Again, I'll explain you. If you double click the variable, this appears and you can enter here. Again, don't forget to enter this measure type and data type because it is very important. We will see in the descriptive, if you change this, like if it is a continuous data and if I change it to the nominal, it will not calculate the mean and the median. So, but that was not there in case of SPSS, but it is there in case of a JAMOVi. So this type of data, it is important. And then it can be, you can again go by this option of setup. This also opens the same command. So you can go here by 2 options. So this is how we import the data and we give the name to the variables or the numbers which we have imported. Now the next question which I have to show, this I have shown you. Now third is I have to calculate. Now I have to show you the command on the how to do the transformation and how to do the computation. So for that, maybe I'll open a new JAMOVi. I'm not saving it because this was just for the demonstration purpose. And maybe I can open already entered data, clean data, which you can say. So here I'll go and you can see this is the, it's import levels, compute and transform. So this sheet, because this is a clean sheet. So for demonstration, I am opening this sheet to you, for you, and we'll see how to compute. So next question. So we'll see how to do the computation of variables. So what is the computation of variable? Like we have talked about the BMI, or if you have to take the mean BP, we take the mean of like SBP 1, 2, and 3, depending on the need, or anything like if you are taking the weight of the baby, you take at least 2 measurements. So if you have to do the mean of those 2 measurements, how you are going to do that? So this you can see here that all it has been categorized. There are few, and in this case, I have to compute the total number of morbidities. So how many morbidities a person has? So this data set, the total number of patients are 180, and this is the data set which we have taken during the COVID time. We have taken it from our HIS, from the data case sheets, and we performed some analysis. So the total number of patients which we took. So the total number of patients. So I'll give a brief overview of the data set which we have used both for the demonstration and for the assignment purpose. So for demonstration, the data set which I'll be using, this is the real data set which we have taken from the HIS, from the patient record during the COVID time. So the total number of patients, the total number of data was, I guess it was some 1683 or 1700, but we have taken only 180 cases, and we did some modifications. So some modifications we did, so that it should come some significance, or some, we could show some tests. So there was some modification done to this data set just for a demonstration purpose. But rest of the data set, apart from these minor modification, this is a real data set of the COVID patients. So all these comorbidity, if you see, like diabetes mellitus, or maybe hypertension presence or absence, CVD, stroke, COPD, CKD. So I need to calculate the total number of morbidities. So you can see here this total number of morbidity which we have calculated. So how to do that? So you need to, I will just show you how to do that. So you can go to this, there is a data, and you can see there is a, and you press this option of compute. So ignore this, I'll go to this compute. So you can see, since I have pressed this twice, so these two variables appeared. I'll delete this one variable. So I have deleted this, and this M is the variable. So I may write it as total number of morbidity. So in this case, you can see there are two windows. This is the formula and this is the function fx. So this window, we don't use this window. You can see here, it is generally, we cannot do anything here. But this function, if you see, you can see here that there are various functions. If you click this function, there is an appearance of two columns. In the left side, there is appearance of function. The functions are categorized as maybe mathematical functions, like this exponent, log 10. If you come down, this is the square root. This is the interquartile range, standard deviation. These are the statistical, maximum, minimum, mean, rank, scale. All these options are there. And then there is a logical functions, like if, miss, not. All these options are there, and there are some other options. So we right now we will use this option of sum, because we want to take the total number of comorbidity. So I will use this option of sum. So click this sum. Now once you click this, there is an appearance of this bracket. So in this bracket, you need to select the variable. So like I will select starting from the diabetes mellitus. So I have selected this diabetes. Then you have to put a comma. Then you will select hypertension. Double click this. You need to double click this. Then CVD. Then again comma. Double click stroke. Then again comma. Double click COPD, because total number of comorbidity I'm doing. And then after this CPD, this again comma, and then CKD, and maybe this is the only. So then I'll press enter. So once you press enter, you can see the total number of comorbidities. These are like 0, 2, 3, 4. I will show if you click this. So can you see this? If you click this, this will hide. It will get hide. And this is the total number of morbidity, comorbidity. So you can see 0, 2, 4, 5, 2, similarly depending on the comorbidity. So this is how you do the computation. Similarly, if you want to compute the BMI, so like you can see here, this is the weight and height. It was not there with the actual patients, because they were the severe patients and we could not, most of them were in the like ICU, or they could not stand, so height could not be measured. So these two variables we have added just to as a demonstration purpose. So like if you want to create this BMI, how to do that? So you will go again in the computation. So like wherever you click this cursor, this computation, this variable, it appears after that. So this is maybe the BMI. So you can write this is the BMI of the individual, and then you can see here the function. So in this case, this function, click this. Now there is no formula. So you need to enter it manually. So you will click this weight, assuming that it is in kg, and then height. But it should be in the bracket, the denominator. So you can write height. Then because it is a height square, it is height multiplied by height. Again, I'll take height, but it is in centimeter. So in meter, I need to multiply it by 0.0001. I have multiplied it, and then I have closed the bracket and then press the enter. In that case, you can see that you can create this BMI. So these two options which we have used, total number of morbidity and the creation of a new variable, computation of a new variable based on the existing variable, that is by using this option of compute. So is it clear to all of you? This compute option, how do we use it? You just need to click this and then use this function. There are two windows. This tells you about the function. If you double click this, and then you need to select the particular variable, depending on the formula or depending on like total number of comorbidity which we have seen. So this was one demo. Now, if you need to recode it, like remember in SPSS, we used to make a category, or like Ashish was talking regarding the continuous and the categorical nature of the scale. So like now I have this BMI, or maybe I will show you with the age category. So with that, you go to this, can you see this option of transform? So you can use this option of transform. Click this. In this case, it is a transform variable. So there are many variables. You can delete this. I think I have clicked this thrice. So there is appearance of 3 variables. So I'm deleting this. Maybe this is the computed one. So no, but I need a transform. So I will go to, because this transform option is different. So in this case, I can write that age category. In this age category, source variable. So you need to identify the source variable. In this case, since I'm making it of age, and then in this case, you can create a new transformation. So once you click this option of new transformation, again, this maybe I can write here that category of age. So category I have written. And then in this case, you have to write add recode condition. So if you click this add recode condition, and there is a small button here. Can you see this? If you click this, there is an option of like in JAMOVi, this double equal to means it is like equal to. So this double equal to means that says equal to. This is like more than, this is less than, this is greater than, equal to, and if you go down, this is less than equal to. So if I have to make 3 age category, how will I do? So I will do less than this option, and then I will write 30. And in this case, I will use the code condition, and the source variable in this case, I may write it as more than equal to. So more than equal to, if I write in this case, so it takes the lower value as it is, means it takes the lower cutoff without giving the boundaries. So I will ask the second category is between the 30 to 60. So I will write like less than equal to 60. That means this tells you that lower boundary it has already set, like 30, less than 30. So it will take automatically this as a 30 to 60. Or else, that means the third category is more than 60. So what I can do, I will write here as, or else use 3. So there are, here I have to write 2. So what I have given, Less than 30, it will code it as 1. If it is between 30 to 60, it will code it as 2. And if it is more than 60, it will code it as 3. If you have got more than 3 category, then also you can keep on adding this add recode condition. And in this case, you don't need to give the two extremes. Like you don't need to give 30 to 60, that 30 also and 60 also by this command. And then if you press, like if you click OK, and then you can see that like in this age category, you can see like there is an appearance of 1, 2, and 3. If you hide this, you can see there. And this, if you go to this, you can have like, if you have any other, like in this case, we have taken only 1. But if you, in this case, if you use this option, you can use the same transform formula at any other place also, this category. Like in case of a, if it is a, no, we do this like a Likert scale. And if you are using this Likert transformation at one place, you can select this category. This is maybe by the transform 1. And then by source, we're changing the source variable. You can keep on creating the new variable using the same cutoff which you have given in this formula. So this is like categorizing or the recoding variable. So what all we have learned in this session, we learned how to import the data. So the importation of data is by clicking these 3 lines. If you click this, go to open, click this, browse the file and open it. Once you have opened it, you need to give the name to your variable. That can be done by double clicking any column, and then there is an appearance of this window where you need to tell about the measurement type, the data type, and if there is no labeling to that coding, then you need to label that. If you move like this, you will move right towards that variable section, and if you move up, it will close this window. Then we learned regarding the computation. So if you click this compute, there will be appearance of a new computed variable. You can describe this computed, and then you can use this functions. All these mean, we will see slowly all functions, but right now we have seen the sum. You can use the mean also, and then there are variables. So once you use, like if you want to use the mean, in this case, you can click this mean, and you can select a variable like age. So it will give you the variable or mean age in all the column, and that's how we calculate it. And maybe then we have seen the computation transformation. So this transformation option is used, and in this case you need to select the variable and need to use the transform, create a new transform. So if you write the create a new transform, if you click this, then you need to give the recode condition. So keep on adding this recode condition. You can classify it. So this towards the left side, you have to give the criteria, and towards the right side, this use, you have to give the number like 1, 2, 3 coding which you have used. And then you can have your data ready for analysis. So this is how we perform some common functions like this add or delete. We'll see the use of this filter also. So these are the, like, if you want to add a case, you can press this add. This is for the variable add and delete variable, and this is for adding and deleting the rows. So these are the options which you have in JAMOVi before analyzing your data. So you are just preparing your data for analysis, and we have not done any analysis up till now. So are these commands clear to all of you? Or do you want me anything to repeat, or repeat the command or any other thing which you have a query? Otherwise, then we will go to the breakout room, and it is requested, please, even if it takes a little longer, all of you, please practice this once in the breakout room by sharing your screen. We have enabled screen sharing of all participants, and you all can share your screen. Let me check. So we have allowed all participants. But there might be some problem with the person who is with the Mac. So you can please write in the chat box how many of you have Mac with you. Okay, so Damodaran is asking if any data is changed in source variable, then will it automatically change in computed variable or how? No, it will be changed in computed variable. You don't need to run the command again. It will be changed.